Heather Broadbent here, violinist and instructor, where I train violinists all over the world how to improve their technical skill sets for more melodic playing. Today, I'm going to show you how to keep your practice journal digitally. And I have to tell you, I have moved away from the pen and paper for good, and I am only using Trello to organize my practice sessions. So it's really pretty exciting. This is what Trello looks like, www.trello.com. That's spelled Trello. And what's great about this is that when you travel, and I travel quite a bit, that I don't need to take a journal along with me. I have it online and I could just pop into it. So it's awesome. I use this to organize all my master classes, my immersions, and challenges, as you see here, different nurture sequences I put out for my students and people on the online violin education.com newsletter. They get a nurture sequence from me every month to help them with their violin journey. Plus, we do challenges in the Facebook study group at Online Violin Education, and I have this all organized within Trello. So if you guys ever wondered how I keep everything in order, so let me go ahead and show you how you can use this for your projects. You can use it for your personal practice or your albums or compositions like I have here. Okay, so let's just create something new. We're going to go ahead and create your practice, basically your technique practice, okay? So perhaps you're using the calendar that's for free at onlineviolineducation.com. You can use this to help you out with that. So let's go ahead and click on the plus, and the plus is going to allow you to create what's called a team. Okay, so we want to come here and say, okay, I want to create a team. We're going to call the team practice, let's call it practice session. You can call it whatever you want. You can describe it projects within, let's see if I can type, within a practice session. You can organize these by pieces, technique, have different teams. You can have a team for technique or a team for pieces, but we're just going to do one for all. You can put a picture here, which is a lot of fun. I put my pictures here. And if you want to add people into the team, you can. If you want to add a website, that type of thing, okay? So we're just going to leave it as is, and then we want to create a new board within this. And we're going to call this board, let's call it technique. I have a big passion for technique. All right, so here's our technique board. Now this is what's so cool. You can change your background. Come on over here, and I love doing this because it's so inspirational. So let's see, what do we want to do? Ooh, look, you can have fire. I put this with the pieces, but it was me for like passion. That is incredible. That's really cool. For technique, I think of like fitness and exercise, climbing or something like that. So let's do fitness. Let's see what we get for fitness, if I can spell fitness. As it thinks, so anything, the timer is cool because you'll use a timer when you do your technique. So you have tons of pictures you can choose from here. It doesn't really matter. Or what's really cool, obviously, if you click violin, if you put in violin, there's tons of violin pictures you can use. Something that you find inspirational in here. Maybe you're preparing for a performance, so you'd like to have this as your background, or, we're just going to go ahead and just pick the violin as a background. So that looks pretty cool, pretty inspirational already. So we'll close out of this, and so technique, what do we have in technique? We have scales that you need to practice. Oops, come back here, make sure you save it. And then we have, what else do we have in technique? We have bow work, which could be spiccato, martelé. So let's say that. Okay, so underneath bow work, we want to work on our spiccato. And we want to work on our martelé bow strokes. So you can just put that in there and say, all right, spiccato. I'm going to create a checklist. So you create a checklist. I always just call these to-dos. You can see all my to-dos I have here. Let's say we need to work it at metronome marking of 1 quarter note equals, let's say quarter note equals, I always say 120. Oops, let's get this to be equal, 120, and practice 2 minutes on each string, something like that. You can even just say 2 minutes on A, so you can get really particular. 2 minutes on A, 2 minutes on D. Okay, so and then these move around, so you can move them here or there, and you can check them off when you're done if you wish, and then when you finish your practice, unclick them so they're ready for you for the next day. Okay, so scales. You have, maybe you're working on 2 octave across a string, or you're working on 3 octave going up the instruments, and you can even click on these and say, okay, I need to really focus on C major because I'm working on a piece in C major. So we need to do a C major scale, and let's do it for, at least 2 minutes, something like that, Then the other thing you could work out is say, all right, so in the 3 octave scales, I want to work on intonation. You can create a specific checklist called intonation and say, okay, listen to E, that it is high enough, because that tends to be. I was working with a student yesterday on a C major scale, and her E's were a little low. Okay, so you can do that. You can go into the to-do and say, I need to practice with a drone of C while I'm playing. Okay, now this is really cool. Speaking of that, let's hop into YouTube and say, okay, we need to find a drone of C. So I'll just put in C pitch. And a lot of videos come up with this. So there we go, perfect pitch C. Find one that you like, okay, and then say share. We're gonna copy this, all right? Let's head back over to Trello on our 3 octaves technique. And we're going to add an attachment, all right? So here's our attachment, and just go ahead and paste that link in there and say, this is my drone of C, okay? And boom, there it is. So isn't that amazing? You just save tons of time. The next time you go to your practice session, boom, I'm practicing my C major scale. I need to hear a drone of C. Or say you want to put in a drone of E, so you can listen to make sure those E's are high enough with that drone, okay? So it's really wonderful what you can do with this. So, I think that pretty much shows you exactly what you can do. Say you have different books that you're working on in these 2 octave scales. So let's do this. Let's pop on over to onlineviolineducation.com and go ahead and click over here on books. And say you're working with, or you want to put it on your wish list, a scale focus. Let's say these are the 2 octave scales going across the instrument, and you're working on A major scale and arpeggio. So say, okay, this is something I want to go ahead and add to my repertoire. So you can just click the link here, copy and paste the link, and then head back over here and put in the attachments. This is the A major scale book that I need to get. Okay, and you just attach it there, and boom. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing that's really cool. After you purchase this book, or whatever book it is, that's a digital book, and you have saved in your Dropbox folder, which I have everything. I can't tell you how big my Dropbox is. So head on over here to attachment. You can connect your Google Drive, which I've done because I have tons of Google Docs, and Dropbox, okay? So, dare I click on the Dropbox link, then you'll see my Dropbox. It's full, it's so huge. But anyway, you get the point. You can click on this and it'll go to your Dropbox, okay? So that way you can click whatever document it is you want to upload, and you can have your music there specifically ready to go. So it's pretty awesome. I can't encourage you enough to give it a try. And if you do, please come on over to the Online Violin Education Study Group on Facebook and give it a go. So, and let us know how it works for you. So we'll just pop into Facebook here and go to the, let's see, we need to go to Online Violin Education. And if you're not a member already, so let's just copy and paste this link because you can put this in your practice session on Trello. Let's head back over to Trello and say, okay, so motivation. If you need to take a practice break, this is the OVE study group. All right, so then you just click on this attachment, put the link here, and just say OVE study group. with Heather, your violinist cheerleader. Okay, and there you go. So then if you need a practice break, instead of going to, somewhere and losing yourself for hours upon time, just head on over to the study group and say hi. Say, yeah, I worked out with Trello and it was amazing. Read some wonderful positive things. See what we have going on. Every month I do a challenge to get you going. You can even organize that in Trello. And yeah, so that will keep you going. So enjoy, and love to hear your comments, and I will see you soon. Ciao.